Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And I'd like to say peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, to you as a Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Slovakia, I wasn't able to hit the highways and byways this week because my transportation is still messed up. My methods of transportation. I'm dealing with paperwork issues with the car I do have now. But in the meantime, I was dealing with that. I was basically renting cars to get from point A to point B. But recently, I guess the other day they blocked my account, so I'm having trouble with that at the moment. But you know, it's only for a moment, man. It's only temporary, man. The things that we deal with, the trials and tribulations we go through, it's only temporary. So there's nothing really much I can do. I can't sit back and mope and pout and complain and worry and doubt. I can't do that. There's no point. All right. Actually, let me jump to real quick, cause but where we at now, what we have now, is where we at now, what we have now, is really the greatest thing of all time, right? To date, to date, right? So we're coming into a time where all all things we made under our subjection, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and of course, through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? We're gonna have an everlasting kingdom, a kingdom that will never be taken away, a kingdom that will never be so-called invaded. History won't change like they do now. We'll never be conquered. We'll never be separated again from our family. So the thing that we go through now is temporary because there's gonna be a point in time where things, and it's like not a point in time. It's just gonna be time. All right. It's not gonna be an era. It's not gonna be a generation. It's not gonna be a duration. Well, it's just gonna be. It's just gonna be the way it is forever, man. You know, and that's the point, and that's the beauty, not the point, Slocky. That's the beauty of the kingdom. What I said before, one of the most glorious things and marvelous things about the kingdom that Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai has prepared for us is how long it's gonna last. It's not gonna be a 1,000-year kingdom like false camps and false ideologies tell you. Oh yeah, after 1,000 years, Esau's gonna rule again, right? No, it's none of that, man. Because if you're in a kingdom like that, yeah, you might enjoy the first 700 years. You might enjoy the first 800 years. But when you're in the 900th year, 950th year, 960th year, 970th year, it's not gonna feel like a kingdom. You're constantly gonna be watching the clock, like, damn, it's about to end. How is it gonna collapse? How is it gonna be taken from us? It's gonna be taken from us violently. And why would a kingdom be taken from people, the chosen people of Yahweh Yahshai? Why would a kingdom be taken from the only group of immortal people on the planet, man? So what mere mortals are gonna take the kingdom from Yahweh Shai, man? All right, so I'm saying this because there's no point of doubt, of worry, of speculating, of any of this, man. The only thing to do is to know that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has got our backs, man. Has our best interests in mind if we have Him on our minds, man. If we don't forsake the Lord, right? And it's a spirit because I know I'm rambling, but Slakia. It's a spirit because I wanted to open the lesson with Matthew's 24, right? Actually, let me get it real quick before I go to what I'm about to go to now. All right, so this is the book of Matthew 24, starting at verse 36. All right, and the context of this is disciples coming up to Yahushua and basically saying, hey, let us know when the end is going to be. So the Lord is breaking down in this chapter, what it's going to look like in the days of the Lord, or in the time at the end. All right? But Matthew 24, starting at verse 36, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Meaning that only the Most High knows the day, the hour, the exact second he's going to pull the plug on this place, man. All right? But the plug is going to be pulled. And, the hand is on the cord. You could tell, and the hand is on the cord ready to pull it out the socket. You could tell by the times that we're in, man. All right? You could tell the way people are. Devils all over this place, man. Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming, so Slakia, Matthew 24 and 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also be the coming. So shall also be the Slakia. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? Basically saying, hey, people are gonna live it up until that last day, man. All right. People are gonna pay attention to the signs, the prophecies. All right. People are watching the spiritual clock that's going on, man. That's ticking every day, man. People are gonna be stuck in their ways, man. People are stuck in their folly. People are gonna be stuck in their bread and circus, as it is today, man. It's crazy. It still blows my mind. Even today, how in the year 2020, the wicked elite and Esau basically just said, hey, we're shutting all of this down. We're closing this, we're turning this off. You're not allowed outside. We're closing restaurants, we're closing gyms, we're closing all of this, right? We're closing social activities, like movie theaters and stuff like that. We're shutting it down. They literally shut down the economy for the most part. They confine people to their homes. And the majority of the workforce, or a lot of the workforce, a lot of people that worked in the offices started working remotely because they really weren't allowed to congregate and see each other, man. And people weren't allowed to see each other. They said, hey, stay 6 feet apart. They shut down funerals, meaning, or they barred, not shut down, but they banned funerals, or not, didn't allow funerals to go on. They didn't allow people to see their elderly grandparents in homes or in assisted living homes. They didn't allow physical contact. They didn't allow it. And this was just 2020. And that went on for a couple years. But now, people are acting like everything's back to normal. People acting like that never happened. And it blows my mind. People are walking around with masks on for years. For years. You had a lot of people, not some people, a lot of people in their cars driving by themselves with a mask on. You had people doing Zoom meetings, right? And from their homes, inside of their houses, wearing fucking masks on camera. Why is that, man? Even because they temporarily shut the NBA down, and then when they reopened it, they moved all the players to a facility or something where they finished the season out, and instead of having fans in the stands, they had basically TV screens or monitors where fans will basically dial in and they'll digitally be there at the games, where It looks like there were people in the stands, but there really weren't anybody there. All right, but you got people in the stand, in the so-called stands, on camera wearing masks on. All right, and people act like nothing happened. People just erase that from the memory like nothing happened at all, man. That was one of the biggest psyops no, Slovakia. That is the biggest psyop I've seen played out on people. That was the biggest lie I've witnessed people just take and just ignore, right? And what do? They ignore it and they occupy their minds in bread and circus, man. All right, this is one of the reasons why people were crashing out in 2020. Because you had the pandemic, you had everybody locked up, you had bread and circus shut down, there was no sports and entertainment going on, really. So people couldn't, forget their reality. So they were crashing the fuck out. So they seen the people, acting, behaving like that, and say, you know what, let's open some shit back up. You know, to pacify the people. This is what it is. It's all a pacifier, man. What do you do about babies crying? You try to give him a bottle, he doesn't want the bottle. Try to burp him, he doesn't need to burp. His diaper's clean. Hey, so if he's just crying, you would to make him quiet, to quiet him up, to appease him. You hand him a pacifier, like put this pacifier in your mouth and shut up, man. Or if the baby is hungry, you're preparing the bottle. You put the pacifier in their mouth to simulate like a bottle, a nipple, man. A bottle, a nipple of a bottle. So they keep sucking and thinking that food is eventually gonna come out. So they stop crying and just keep sucking. And this is what is on has been given to society. The bread and circus is your pacifier, man. And I've said this time and time and again. Adults are just grown ass kids, man. Men and women. They don't act they act on their own accord for the most part. No, they don't. They just do what they're told. They do what they do whatever people around them expect. All right, they have no individuality, man. They said that in a low testosterone man, he's not gonna buck up against society. He's not gonna buck up or fight for what's right or what he believes is right. He'll just do whatever the majority of the people are willing to do, and that's what proves how this proves how low testosterone is in society, right? Because nobody, I'm not gonna say nobody, but not a lot of people bucked up against the system, man. When it came down to shutting shit down and injecting not only yourself but your loved ones and your children with this poison they put in people's arms, man. What they could want to say, called the clot shot, man. How many lives it destroyed and ruined? How many people got deleted from that clot shot? All right, they were seeing a lot of so-called student athletes had to end their careers early because their heart became inflamed. But this is what the Lord said would happen, man. So from Matthew 24:38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? Noah was out there warning them. Hey, the rain is coming. The rain is coming. What were they doing? They were just eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage. They weren't paying attention to the signs. They weren't paying attention to the prophet. They ignored all of that because they had their pacifier, man. Until the flood came and took them all away. Now another flood is coming, man. Not of water, all right? But the Lord's about to flood this place with fire and with the host of heavens, man. With his armies, man. The Lord is coming back for vengeance, all right? But people don't care. And this is a perfect sign of the times that we're in the same times, man. We're in the same times of great destruction that's coming. All right, and people don't learn. People don't learn. People don't learn, or they don't want to learn. It's willful ignorance. All right, because the mass majority, the idiot box, the television, the internet, social media tells them everything is okay, man. Don't focus on that. Focus on this instead. Remove it far from your mind. If you don't think about it, it's not real. Hey, that's what they tell you. You know, that's what they tell children. There's a monster under your bed. Hey, there's no monster in your bed. Don't think about it. Just close your eyes, go to sleep. I'm not saying that, that was a bad analogy, but I'm just saying the world, especially America, aka Babylon the Great, has been rocked to sleep, man. And it's gonna be a rude awakening when Yahweh Shai returns, man. It's gonna be a rude awakening. Because he warned us. He warned us of his coming. He warned us of how society will be before he arrives. He warned us about our enemies. Scripture says, never trust thine enemies. But our people have been rocked to sleep. And they believe, even knowing that they went through the transatlantic slave trade, even knowing they went through Jim Crow, even being lynched, hung, even knowing, going through shit like Black Wall Street, they believe they have no enemies, man. They believe, hey, just love everybody. But that's not what the scripture says. You so-called black, Hispanics, Native Americans in America, and the ones, of course, throughout the four corners of the world, who may not be so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American, so-called, but truly descend from the man known as Jacob, the man known as Israel, who are truly the fruits of the Spirit, right? We are all one people, man. All right, we are one nation. All right, and it's time to return back to our governor, to our culture, to our heritage, to our history. Because going into other nations' cultures or taking on other nations' identities, what has that gotten us so far, man? It's gotten us nowhere. We're, we're going through the same shit over and over again, man. And now we see our people again. You so-called Mexicans aren't Mexicans. You are the tribe of Issachar, man. So now, but our people in so-called Mexico are going through this right now too, right? But the Lord warned us that this will happen as well. The Lord warned us, man. There's nothing that we can say. You can't feign ignorance in the day of the Lord. Everybody's heard it. Look at this. I didn't even see this on the right, but it says Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. Right? A biometric identifier is now mandatory for all the citizens of so-called Mexico. All right. Who is that targeting, man? That's targeting you, Issachar. That's targeting Jake, man. We go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all. And he calls it all. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. It's not just gonna be Issachar that this is gonna be mandated to, man. It's not just gonna be Jake that this is mandated to. The target is Jake, but it's not gonna be just Jake that is mandated to. It's gonna be everybody that this mandate is gonna go out to eventually, man. This mandate of the Karakma, man. This mandate the mark of the MOTB, man. All right, because the wicked's ultimate plan, their end goal is complete domination. And when you're in rulership, when you're dominating, you want to do it for as long as possible, man. Kingdoms are translated through violence. You know, dynasties are translated through violence, right? So best believe the fall of Esau is gonna come with violence, man. It's gonna be a violent fall before he concedes, before he's taken out of rulership. He's gonna lash the fuck out, man. He's gonna lash the fuck out. All right, just like a spoiled child. All right, you ever snatch something away from a spoiled child, man? How do you lash the fuck out? That demon comes onto them, man. You ain't seen a bigger demon than Esau Edom lashing the fuck out, man. And this is the time that we're in, that we gotta prepare for, right? But I'm not saying this to scare you, but this is a warning, basically saying you gotta trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You gotta trust in the Lord. The Lord will deliver us from all of our enemies. The Lord will deliver us from all of our problems. It's anything, any question you have, anything you're going through, the answer is the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the answer. Is the answer to everything. All right. Revelation 13:16, and he causes it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. As again, this is how it starts. It starts, this is just to identify you. Instead of carrying IDs, or instead of having IDs or carrying papers, you're gonna have this biometric identifier. All right, this is how it starts, and then what's gonna be tied to? It starts with your ID. That's gonna be tied to your bank account, and it's gonna be the new currency, which you'll use it to buy and sell, man. We're here. We're here. We're here. The Lord, just like the Lord said we would be, man. All right. Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional, was previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. So just like in Babylon, just like in the U.S., a social security number is mandatory. Birth certificates are mandatory. Now in Mexico, it's mandatory that you have this biometric identification, that you're tied to this biometric identification system. And then, it was just recently, or I believe it was like a year ago now, where Mexico got a new president, got a new female president, or first female president, and her ties go back to Amalek, man. It's like I said before, or I said this a couple weeks ago. These leaders of these nations, they might be of that nationality, but they're sellouts, man. And if they're not of that nationality, they are imposters, tares, seeded in or planted in to sell those people out. Not only our people, but sell those people out, man. Just like that nigga Obama, man. That nigga Obama, isn't a Jake, right? Obama claims and is of Hamite heritage origins or heritage. But what do niggas do in America? Oh, first black president. Oh, my president is black. Isn't that taking credit for this nigga, man? You never seen or heard this nigga call himself black, man. Never. Never, 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 never. He knows he's not the same people, man. Even though you're not black as well. And no such thing as a black person, a white person, right? We're all different shades of brown. But, doesn't mean Hamites are the same people as us, even though they're different shades of brown as well. Hamites are a whole different set of people, man. A whole different nationality, man. not of the chosen lineage. All right, but people saw that he had brown skin. It was like, oh yeah, he's one of us, which is ironic because other nations have brown skin too, but they don't claim them. Elam got brown skin. Elam be dark as hell. A lot of Elamites be dark. Elamites be dark as hell. But you don't be seeing niggas. Oh yeah, that's a nigga. Yeah, oh yeah, invite him to the cookout. Some sort of nigga fucking term, man. Invite him to the cookout. Blah blah blah. No, nobody gives a fuck, man. And Hamites are the same way, man. And Hamites know that he's so called black aren't the same people, man. And this is why, you know, you ask a Hamite to describe somebody, you know, a non-Hamite or a so-called black guy, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, he's black." They're gonna call him black, but call themselves by their nationality, man. Calling yourself black just means that you don't know where the fuck you came from. Calling yourselves African American just means you don't know who the fuck you are or where you came from, man. At the end of the day, you know, you call yourself African American because that's what your enemies told you your history was. You believe your nation began off a slave ship, man. You believe that, but your history stretches farther back than that. It's a much richer history than that, man. But you don't want to hear it because Esau didn't tell you that. Your enemies didn't tell you that. So you want to continue being lost. You like being lost. You like being guided. Again, just like the grown children, you like being told what to do, what to believe, how to act. Your so-called black culture isn't your culture. It's their culture that they try to impose to you, man. You know, imagine writing a book with with fictional characters and taking the identity of the fictional character and imposing it on another person. Be like, oh yeah, this person acts this way in the book, so you should act this way too. But that's not who you are. It's not. Come back. Come come out of her, my people. Even though that's talking about, you know, getting beamed up, but still, you have to come out of that docile state of mind. You still got to come out of that, man. It's retarded. Last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related to the 18 character personal identifier known as Unique Population Registry Code, with the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree. Right, Slockett, I was mentioning how this lady, this so-called first woman president of Mexico, isn't Mexican at all, man. She's an Amalekite, and now she's, you know, they're creating decrees making this, you know, digital identification mandatory for all systems. But look at this. It says on the right, it says digital ID for all news. It says voter cards get biometric update in Dominican Republic and Bahamas. Again, more of our people, man. You know, you got the Bahamian, so-called Bahamians from the West Indies being a tribe of Benjamin. And you got so-called Dominican Republic or so-called Dominicans being a tribe of Simeon, man. And then telling you that the voter cards are getting a biometric update. You shouldn't be voting in the first place. Who are you voting for? Imagine being an Issacharite voting for this woman in Mexico, thinking that she's Mexican, but thinking that she is progressive, so called, thinking that she has your best interest in mind, but she's selling you out. She's selling you out to the beast system. She's not even of your people. She doesn't care what happens to y'all, man. I'm not saying that if she was an Issacharite, you should vote for her, but it's twice as bad voting for your enemies, man. All right. Go to the book of Sirach. Sirach 12,
Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You went and trusted your enemy, man. Imagine being a man in Issachar. You know, it's crazy. Not really crazy, but they did a study recently. It says in Babylon, in the U.S., the nationality with the highest testosterone in the men are Issacharites. So imagine to be a high testosterone man in the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Issachar in Mexico, voting for a woman. Voting first place is off. First and foremost, voting is off. Imagine voting for a woman to rule over you in your nation, man. Shit is crazy, man. The foundations of the earth are out of course, right? Ain't ain't nothing the way it's supposed to be in this place. But here we are. Here we are. But the Wadi Al Bashim Al Shai, yeah, here we are, but again, it's temporary, man. Alright, so let me go back to before I continue on this. Actually, let me just finish this real quick. Sirach chapter 12 or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right? Yeah, take heed. Be aware. Pay attention. Be cautious. Don't get caught slipping. And you're going to eventually see his rust is going to start to show. You're going to eventually see, like, oh, okay, I see you. I know who you are now. I recognize these patterns. Yeah. I know better than that. Pay attention, man. Because we have enemies. We have enemies, man. And the best way for an enemy to harm you is by getting close. Right? It's like two boxers in a ring. It's really a competition, but at the time being, they're enemies. Imagine one boxer just standing in the corner while the other boxer stands in the other corner. Like, I'm not getting near him. I don't fuck with him like that. Then how you gonna defeat him? How you gonna overthrow him? How you gonna battle him? The best way for an enemy to defeat their opponent is by getting close, right? And so this is what they do. They're gonna attempt to get close. They're gonna attempt, to be as close to being striking distance to you, but they don't want to, charge at you head on. They want to sneak attack you, man, to cause the most damage. And this is what's happening. Our people have been rocked to sleep. Now our enemies are all around us, no matter where we go. And since you're rocked to sleep, you don't think that they're gonna strike you. Just a matter of time, man. And wait till all hell breaks loose, man. Watch how bad it gets when all hell breaks loose. It's bad now, but we ain't seen nothing yet. We really haven't. All right. And we seen atrocities throughout our history, man. We still ain't seen nothing yet. We still haven't seen nothing yet. And that's it. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Alright? Jacob's trouble is coming. If you're not leaning on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, it's gonna be your trouble too. Alright? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 12. Set him not by thee, because they want to get close. They need to get close. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Hey, just like what's happening with this leader of Mexico, man. Amalek got close to niggas. Amalek got close to Jake, overthrew them, and now they're standing up in our place. All right. Amalek got close to Jake, during the time of the not Civil War, but during the time of MLK, Martin Luther King I think one of his closest advisors was an Amalekite. Right? When they say you'll see Amalek being we was so called black people's friends during the civil rights movement. Why? Because you wanted to overthrow us, man. You wanted to get close to us to overthrow us. You wanted to weaponize us to make us look like the bad guys, right? But the whole time it's you, right? And this is why I say things like you know that KKK really ain't that bad, all right? Because what do they want? They want separation, which the Lord agrees with, which the Lord wants. The Lord doesn't want a bunch of nations getting together, gathering around, dwelling amongst each other, man. The Lord wants separation, right? The Lord doesn't want us mingling among our enemies, taking on their identity, and raising our seeds that way, man. No, man. The Lord doesn't even want mingled seeds planted, man. Hey, keep things the way they are. Keep it pure, man. Keep it pure. All right. Uh, and this is the thing. People cry about racism. People cry about you know, people cry about segregation. But why would you want to live in a neighborhood or go to a school where you're not wanted anyway? Why would you want that? Why would you want to go to a store where you weren't wanted? Why would you want to be served in a restaurant by the chef, the staff, the managers? They don't want you there. So why would you go there? Go where you're not only wanted but celebrated, man. Why would you spend your hard-earned money in places where you're hated, man? It doesn't make sense. All right. But now they don't hate you, in your face. They'll hate you behind your back. They'll create fake online profiles to scoff about you. They'll talk shit about you behind your back. They'll do things to prevent you from coming into your power, right? They'll do things to prevent you for coming into or from knowing Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They'll tell you, oh yeah, pork is healthy, eating oysters is healthy, shrimp is healthy. They'll tell you all this when the Lord told you not to do it. Because it's not your culture to eat that abomination, man. Oh, love is love. Being a sodomite is okay. No. The Lord said it's not okay. The Lord said a sodomite's blood is on his own hands, right? The Lord deletes sodomites, man. Deletes. When's the last time you seen two 80-year-old sodomites or even a single 80-year-old sodomite is around walking, doing anything? No, the Lord deletes them niggas, man. All right? It may not be instantly. Just because the Lord doesn't judge sinners instantly doesn't mean he's pacified and okay with your wickedness, man. Doesn't mean he's okay with your abomination, man. The Lord deletes you quick in his point of view, but in our point of view, the Lord takes his time with a lot of our people, man. The wicked too. The Lord is taking his time, not meaning, it goes quick in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because 1,000 years is just about a day to him. So it goes quick in his eyes, but hey, in our point of view, it feels like he's taking his time. Hey, he's gonna enjoy this vengeance, man. He's gonna enjoy it. All right, because like the Lord said, he destroys nations little by little, and we're seeing the destruction of this nation little by little, man. All right. Again, showing that we're at the end. All right, America is not the same America that I've seen in the '90s, right? In the early 2000s, there was a certain pride so-called Americans had being American, right? They had fucking theme songs, just like that. One of the so-called greatest Americans of all time, that nigga Hulk Hogan, just gave up the ghost. A lot of people mourn, but a lot of people are celebrating, man. All right, Same thing with Babylon, man. A lot of people going to mourn when Babylon falls, but it's gonna be people that celebrate, man. That wash their feet in the blood of the wicked, man. All right, we're coming into that time. We're here. We're here. We're here. Call on Him like Yabashim Yashai. We're here, man. All right. It might seem like it's taking forever. It might seem like a long time, but is it really? Think about it. I'm closer to 40 than I am closer to 30. I'm closer to 40 than I am closer to 35. But I remember when I was 12, 13. I remember when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. It doesn't seem like a long time ago. It seems like just yesterday, man. All right, so 30 plus years, 30 years, 25 years seem like yesterday, man. So how much more? And the Lord says He's going to shorten the days too. All right, so this is where we're at, man. The days are being shortened. Our enemies are suffering. The allure of Babylon, the allure of America, it don't hit the same. You know, and people hate this place, man. It's a whore. It's a filthy whore. People hate this place all across the four corners of the earth. I remember I went to a soccer game. This is before the pandemic. Is it before the pandemic? Yeah, before the pandemic. I went to a soccer game and Asher was playing or Brazil was playing, and I was wearing a Brazil shirt, and there was two couples sitting next to me. And they was like, "Oh, you Brazilian? You Brazilian?" I just said some dumb shit, being in my folly, but I said it in I think I said a Brazilian word, or it's like a Portuguese word because they speak Portuguese in Brazil. To pretend I was, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, yeah," they were celebrating, and then they seen what it seemed like to be a white dude with a Brazilian chick, like maybe like 10 rows in front of us. They pointed him out, and they was like, "Boo, boo," putting their thumbs down and shit. American, boo, boo, And this is not a long time ago. Right, this is just before the pandemic, and this goes to show you that people can't stand this place, man. People can't stand this place. The only reason people the only reason people, pretend, not pretend, the only reason people claim to come here is out of necessity. Oh, I need to do better for my family. Not knowing this place is trash too, man. This place is horrible, man. This place is a pit. This place is the valley of the shadow of death, man. All right. There's no escaping the curses. You don't come to Babylon to escape the curses. And you come out here to basically relive them. The curses are magnified here, in my opinion. You go to other lands and it seems better. Of course they got their own problems as well. They're under the curses too. Or even if you go to a land where it's not majority Jake, it might seem better, but the curses are gonna follow you, man. You can't escape the curses. The curse isn't locked to a certain geographical area. It's gonna follow you. Salakia. Jake got interrupted, but nonetheless, yeah, the curses are gonna follow you, man. The curses. The only way, again, the answer is Yahweh Shem Yahshua. The only way to alleviate the pain, alleviate the stress, to alleviate the anguish, alleviate captivity is through Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. but you trying to go somewhere else, go to other people, thinking that they're gonna help you. Fucking Wicked can't help you, man. It's like you're in a headlock, and instead of asking the person to loosen up the lock, you're going to other people saying, "Hey, this is too tight." Like, what the fuck they gonna do, man? What the fuck are they gonna do to y'all Bashim y'all shy? All right, and and these are your enemies too. So you're going to your enemies for help. So even though they couldn't do anything, they wouldn't do anything. All right, because you being down in a bad position just helps them, man. All right, this is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. And you won't remember till it's too late. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Have you ever seen those videos of the snake charmers that have a flute, the snake in like a basket, and they start playing the flute, and the snake will do 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 do. The snake will slither vertically out of the basket to the sound of the music, to the vibration of the music. Right, and you think it's a skill. You think it's a show, but what if one day, a snake doesn't like the certain note, doesn't like that note, or what if one day a spirit comes on that snake and just bites the charmer like that, man? You're not gonna feel sorry for the charmer, like, oh damn, he should have been playing with snakes. It was like those magicians, those sodomite magicians. I think this was back in the 90s or early 2000s where they had a tiger up as a part of their show. Till eventually the tiger attacked one of them niggas, man. Like, you don't feel bad for them niggas. No, you fucking were playing with a tiger. You got what you deserve. So it's the same for people to go to their enemies asking for help or thinking that they're friends, man. No, man. It's only a matter of time for your ass gets bit. Alright? This is the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to them who are called according to his purpose. Right? Because the Lord called the elect few. Alright? So all things will work together for good. So the things, the so-called bad times that you may be going through, that you may be dealing with, it's only temporary. And they may not even be bad times. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The things that you're going through, it might be, or most likely, Salakia, it is for your betterment, man. I'm not saying most likely. The scripture says all things work together for good. Not some things. All things work together for good. So your bad times isn't bad times, man. A couple months ago, I did a couple of stints in the hospital. But the things I've learned since then, it worked. I want to say I would do it again, but, I learned a lot. I did learn a lot, man. I not only learned a lot about my body, but I learned a lot about health in general, man. I learned a lot, and one of the things I want to do now is I'm looking for somebody with the big C, and I want to experiment on them and see if I could, through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, because all health and all healing comes from him. I want to see if it's possible to, with the tools and the knowledge I have, to remove the big C from that person, man. All right, so knowing this, I learned a lot, And a lot. Also learned that a lot of sickness. I mentioned this before, but a lot of sickness just comes from really just emptying your trash can. Sickness is just a buildup of toxins in somebody's body, whether it be colds, flus, fevers, blemishes of the skin. It's really just a buildup of toxins in the body. So if you clear out the trash cans, which would be your kidneys, which is a filtration system, your liver, which is another filtration system, and your colon, right? Now you give your body the tools to dump toxins into those trash cans to throw out the trash, right? Cause that's what is meant to do. Healing comes from Yahweh Shem. The Lord created magnificent bodies, man. The human body is magnificent, man. It truly is. It truly is. Not only human bodies, but all living creatures, man. Truly magnificent. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Creating something like this that basically it doesn't heal itself because again, all healing comes from Yahweh Shem Shai. But you know, you create something that it could clean itself. It could also feed itself. It could be fed from the fruits of the earth, the vegetables of the earth. We're coming into a time, or in the kingdom, animals aren't going to eat each other for food, for sustenance, right? They're going to live off the land. All right, so the bodies are already equipped for that, man. Their Slovakia, their biology isn't going to change, right? They're not going to get new bodies. Animals aren't getting new bodies. The nation of Israel is getting new bodies, right? Starting with the elect. Our biology is going to change. But animals and other nations are getting new bodies. So we're going to see how everything truly works, man. The foundations of the earth are out of course, but they're about to be put back into correct order, right? Order, man. Order, is how Yahweh Shem Yahshua reigns. That's how he operates, man. He operates through order, and how he reigns on heaven as it is in earth as it is in heaven. Salakia is we're about to see it, man. Right now we're seeing fucking trash. We're seeing the wicked rule. We're seeing servants in rulership. Right? We're witnessing. We're witnessing the earth in its worst possible condition. Right? Of course, it's gonna get worse, but to date, this is the worst condition the earth has been in, man. To date, right? It's gonna get worse, but it's gonna get infinitely better as well too. Because just like it says in Romans 8:28, Slakia, Romans 8:22, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. All of creation is groaning out, man. And this is written thousands of years ago. Alright? So how much more now? How much more is creation groaning now, man? Alright? But the crying's gonna stop. Alright? Not only for creation, not only for the beasts, but for us, most importantly for the elect. Right? Lord willing, we're part of that number. But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Grand Millstone that rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the elect and the nation of Israel. Until next time, I want to say shalom and a bar.